What I'd like to do is introduce you a little bit to the course, Business Finance. Talk a little bit about what the course is all about and what we'll be doing. Finance essentially is a decision-making course where we want to talk about how managers develop strategies, make decisions to ultimately enhance shareholder value. So we're going to talk about financial statement analysis. We're going to explore some basic financial planning, talk about the valuation of securities and projects through capital budgeting. And in the end, we're going to spend a couple of chapters talking about the financing choices, or the process of deciding whether or not to borrow money or not. So in this class, essentially, we're going to develop a decision model for some financial applications. We're going to look at some techniques, if you will, of how to evaluate information. We're going to try to gather an understanding with what goes through or how do managers go through the process of deciding whether or not borrowing money is a good idea or not. And then finally, we're actually going to look at financial statements. We're going to do a brief financial analysis of a corporation to assess its performance. We're going to be working with within something called the Moodle course management system. There'll be some access to an outside learning management system. Now, once we lock into this outside system, you'll never have to go back there again. It actually works seamlessly through the Moodle system. So we will log into that system when the class starts, and then we won't have to go back again. There are a variety of videos that you'll watch. These videos are going to assist you in preparing for coursework. They could be lectures. They could be something from YouTube. They could be videos describing how to utilize some techniques. There's an Excel workbook that's provided in this online module, if you will. And that's what we're going to use to solve the quantitative aspects of the course. Now, one of the things I understand is I know that there are people out there that have math anxieties. We're going to do a lot of math. However, you're not going to do any math. The quantitative side is all going to be done through this Excel workbook. At least about 95% of it's going to be done through that. There are a few things that we'll talk about that you won't need them. That you won't need that workbook, the Excel part, to ultimately solve for those problems. You should expect to spend roughly 4 to 5 hours for every chapter that we discuss in this course. The Moodle system is going to guide you through the materials. The types of activities are going to be quizzes, homework assignments. Some of those you'll be directed to take them essentially online. Some others will be done through Word documents. Research assignments are going to help us to understand a real live company, to look at where the data is and maybe do some fundamental analysis of that data. And we will also do some discussion forums. The discussion forums will take a couple of different forms, if you will. There may be some outside readings that I'll ask you to summarize what you're doing with those outside readings. But then there may also be a couple of questions from time to time to get the class involved outside of the classroom, obviously, but in a excuse me, in an online or a out of class type of discussion forum. Each chapter is going to have a quiz. Those quizzes are timed. When you're done with the quiz, obviously you'll be apprised of what your grade is, and you'll have the ability then to review the quiz. Most chapters have homework assignments, as I said. Some of them will be offline, some of them will be online. When you've completed the assignments, the offline assignments, you will then upload those back to the instructor for the instructors to grade them. Again, we'll discuss how the actual process of uploading here in a couple of minutes. We'd already talked about research that's done via a Word document. And again, as you complete those Word documents, you will upload that information back to the instructor. I did mention videos a little bit earlier. Each research project will have a video attached to that project, will be identified with that project, and that is me doing the keystroking and trying to find the data for another company, obviously, but it will help you, lead you through the keystrokes to find the data that you need to solve the analysis and work the analysis of the company. We had talked about discussion forums again. Each question is worth a maximum of 20 points. You need to have 150 to 250 words. If there's going to be some reply required with other students, that will be identified in that question. Again, the time frame and how that is done, the dates that are due, will be spelled out within the Moodle system. Quizzes are worth roughly 40% of the class. Homework's 25%. The research is 15%. The discussion forums are 10% of the course. And then attendance and participation is the other 10%. For the online courses, for the online course, they 10% attendance and participation is then distributed upwards, and it will be then 45% for quizzes and 30% for homework. There are several ways you can contact the instructors through the business department at Thomas More College. Is the phone number there. You can also always contact us via the Thomas More email system. If you're taking an online quiz or homework problem, there are typically links in that function. It's on I believe it's on the left-hand side of the page while you're solving the problem. And one of the things they have there is something called Ask the Instructor, and that will help you contact me with a specific question. If we need to chat or have a more face-to-face meeting outside of the classroom, the Moodle system has something called the Big Blue Button, and that will enable us to have a virtual meeting outside of the class. So I'm sure there are some other things we'll talk about. In the next video that you watch, you will see I kind of refer to it as the course experience. I'm going to show you the actual website that we'll be using and identify some of the parts so that you see how they work, and then we will start the class.